So, hey, cuz,
What?
I've been doing some graduation shopping and I've gone to Amazon through our campfirepod.com link. You know where that is?
I'm going to guess it's at campfyrepod.com. Is that campfyrepod, campfyrepod.com?
You are correct.
All right. What do I win?
Well, you win
Nothing.
support.
But if you go to campfyrepod.com, click on the Amazon link on the right side.
And it'll take you right to
Click
Amazon.
on the Amazon link on the right-hand side. It'll take us, you, anybody who uses it, to Amazon. And anything you purchase, we can make a small commission off at no extra charge to you. Is that what you were going to say, cuz, before we were interrupted
exactly.
by... That's not even a Sasquatch sighting. That's like a Littlefoot. A Littlefoot sighting. I just saw a Littlefoot go right behind you.
It's early.
Yeah, it is.
Hi, I'm Lourdes.
And I'm Eric, but you can call me Tello. This show is a family-oriented show, but it's oriented from the adult perspective. We talk about adult situations, and very often we use adult language. So if there's any kids in the room, kick their asses out. They don't belong here right now. Unless they want to learn something about life.
Right. This may not be suitable for children. And I'd like to add, I don't want to make anybody mad, and I love my family and friends.
I do too. Oh, cuz. How's it going?
I think you're going to hate me.
Wait. Why?
Because I think I adjusted my volume because it was really loud in my ear. And I heard it go down. I was like, oh, no. I remember what cuz said about you having to make adjustments when I
No, that's
changed
okay.
the
This
volume.
is right at the top of the show. Was the music too loud? Because I went a little louder than usual.
Or maybe that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little loud.
Well,
it was a little loud. But that's okay.
Yeah, technical stuff aside. This, by the way, because it's a great way to start the show with technical problems. Which we're full of. I mean,
yes,
let's face
we
it.
are.
Neither one of us is professional.
No. And we need to be more understanding.
Yeah, more understanding. Which, by the way, I have a disclaimer today. You might hear some background noise on my side because now that I've moved to the new place, the front door is right outside my studio, quote unquote studio door. And today is going to be a busy day for one of my roommates. So you'll probably hear some banging and going in and out, maybe even some talking in the background. But you know what? It's all part of this adventure.
Dysfunctional show. Well, since you made a disclaimer, I want to make mine too.
Yes, please.
I just want to get it off, just right off the top.
Get it off.
We still don't have a restaurant.
Oh my goodness. That's why there was a Littlefoot sighting behind you?
Yes. And also I did agree to babysit again this morning.
Wait, yesterday you told me you were going to say no. You're like,
I
no
did.
babysitting.
I did. I said no to the baby because I have a lot to do today.
But the baby didn't tell his mom, so she didn't know.
No. But I did say yes to my
Yes to the dress?
to my 8-year-old niece. So she can do a little bit more.
Are you talking about Lupita?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. She's practically taking care of herself.
Yeah. She can fend for herself.
Yeah. Well, just let's bring everybody up to speed. Episode 43.
Damn, we're old. We're getting up there.
I know, man. Don't get me started. Every time I switch the camera to me, I see my thinning hair. Look, watch this. Look at this. Huh?
Oh, no.
Shut up.
Look at mine. I have to do this comb over. You see that?
That's nothing.
I wish the hair on my head would grow
like the
as
hair on my
fast
back?
and as much. Yes. Or my lip or my lower back.
Oh, man. We're some hairy people. Look, I know there are people in the family who don't believe in evolution, but when you see how hairy we are in certain places where humans shouldn't be hairy, how can you not think that we're not evolved from apes? Look at
I have no
look at a
idea.
gorilla's back, and then look at my back. I have less muscle tone than a gorilla, but I mean, like, the hair is on its way there, and I'm getting
I
older.
don't know.
So pretty soon, like, you see this silver streak in my hair? Pretty
Yeah.
soon, that's going to make its way down my back. I'll be a silverback gorilla. Yeah.
Gross. Actually, Luis has hair on his chest, and there are gray hairs all throughout it. I'm like, damn.
My beard. Look at this.
Oh, cuz.
Yep.
I
That's
mean,
okay
it's
though.
okay.
Yeah, I kind of
It's
like
okay.
it though. It's looking pretty good. Makes me look distinguished and sexy. I mean,
Yeah.
sexier.
There you go.
Er.
I can't say the same for myself
Oh, you don't like your beard?
or my mustache hair. and you know, for men it's different because you can grow it and trim it or whatever. But for women, it's very difficult to when you have one or two random like hairs just growing out of your chin and that you may not be able to see all the time until someone says, "Oh, you have a hair on your face," and you go to pull, and it's like it's stuck to your skin, and you see it pull. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh man, I forgot. I accidentally glued some hair on my face last night. I thought I got it all off this morning, but I missed one. Don't look. Plank.
Oh, it's bad. Anyway,
Because yeah, so
so enough with the facial hair. Yeah, episode 43.
we're making our way.
Isn't that a song? Making our
Making our way
way.
in the world today takes everything you got. Oh, that's the Cheers theme song.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
Here you go.
Sometimes
I don't
you
know the
wanna
words.
go where everybody knows your
Knows
name.
your name.
Bum, bum,
That's
bum,
all I
bum.
know.
And they're always glad you came.
I used to love
Bum,
that show.
Yeah, me too, man. Coach, remember that guy?
Yeah, he'd walk in like a coach with short shorts, right?
No. Coach was a
Who?
bartender there. He wore a short sleeve white shirt and a tie. He was an older man. He actually passed away during the production.
One of
Like
the episodes.
No, one season. I mean, one season he passed away, and they replaced him with Woody Harrelson. He was like a lovable dumb guy. He was just innocent, but just completely clueless.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah,
passed
so
away.
yeah, I was thinking of
and
a
they
different
replaced him with
coach.
Woody Harrelson, who played an innocent but clueless guy, and it still worked. It was very successful. Funny show, loved
Yeah.
it. Ted Danson,
Yeah.
George Wendt. Remember, every time he walked in, they'd be like, "Norm,
Yeah, because there's another technical difficulty. It has to be with the wiring, I think.
plug your headphones into the other thing, the other side."
Okay. Can you say something? Nope.
I'm just kidding. Can you hear me? I was kidding. Plug it back into the other.
Because you are so mean. I'm like not, I'm not wire savvy.
Before we started the show officially, number two cuz was messing around with stuff, and all of a sudden everything went silent. Radio silence. She couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear her. It was going to be the greatest podcast ever.
I honestly think I might have a short in my wire.
You think your wire's too short? They sell
No,
these extenders.
I think there's something going on, but
No, it might
it's
be that
fixed.
splitter. I got you.
maybe.
Anyway, nobody cares about this.
I know.
What are we
so
even
let's,
talking about? Because what are we talking about today?
I don't know. Let's,
Let's break for lunch. Let's do it.
yeah. Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll be back, guys. So Mother's Day, I got to listen to the audio from the Mother's Day podcast.
And nobody
I know it
knows what you're
hasn't
talking
been-
about yet.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, go ahead. Explain it.
Well, I was just saying that Mother's
Last
Day
week,
weekend.
I went to visit my mom. Go ahead. No, explain it, cuz. Don't let me mansplain over you.
No, I was just going to say that last week.
I went to visit my mom, and no, go ahead. You got to listen to some audio from what?
From your.
Last weekend when I went to visit mom for Mother's Day, and I get to visit my nieces and nephews and their mom.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz, go ahead. What were you saying?
And Y'all did a
and we
little.
recorded a little bit of a podcast. Because
There you go.
go ahead, no.
Well, I was going to try to be there, but my timing didn't
It's not your fault.
coincide with
No.
y'all's
First of all, it's
timing.
not your fault. I want to make that clear.
I know.
No. I know. I want the audience to know that this is not your fault. So I recorded a podcast. No, you were saying, because I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, please. I'd rather you explain it.
Now, I have gotten a reputation for being mean to you on this show, and I don't want to be mean to you. So please finish explaining. Tell
Oh
your
no,
story.
I don't. I keep an open mind when we do this podcast. So
What does that mean?
I'm open to suggestions and interruptions.
All right, why don't you just stop right there? Because I don't like where this is going. I don't like the way you're treating me right now.
No,
Now,
I won't
last
comment a
weekend,
lot. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
No, go
Last
ahead.
weekend, I'm just messing with you. No, well, we're jumping into this early, but I recorded a little bit of a podcast last weekend with my mom and my nieces and nephews' mama, Marva, who was banned
Yes.
from the show,
Yeah.
but used my mom, my precious mother, as an excuse to muscle her way onto our show. And
Yeah.
you were supposed to be there, but her timing, we'd both told her, like, hey, look, this is the time that Lourdes is going to be available. And
Just went in one ear and right out the other.
and she just completely disregarded it. So you weren't
But-
available for it.
No,
and
no.
And it suffered for that, because as you'll hear later on, we'll play the audio after our little, after we catch up a little bit, and you'll see what it's like. This is why this is your show. This is why I just do the technical stuff. I'm just here to
This
make
is
fun
not
of
my
you, be
show.
mean, and edit the podcast. Other than that, I bring nothing to the show.
Whatever. I listened to the audio and I thought it was sweet. It was a little interesting.
It was good. I'm glad Mom was able to be on the show. I'd love to have, I'd love to actually plan it out, because this was kind of sprung on me. Martha told me, by the way, Marva, same person, nicknames, whatever. You probably heard of like El Cucuy or La Llorona. Well, there's also La Marta. She's another, what would you call that?
You know, Marva Fokker, like on the Meet the Fockers.
Yes, La Marta Focar. So anyway,
No.
I forgot what I was talking about. She came completely unprepared. She sprung this on me the day before, and she was like, "Hey, we should do a podcast." I'm like, "Well, are you coming here? Because I got all my stuff set up. I got a bunch of equipment." And I thought that was the original plan. Like, they were going to come here to Austin. But then the day of, plans started to change. She was like, "Oh, I thought you were going to bring your equipment here." And I was like, I looked at that. I was like, I just got this set up because I just moved in not too long ago, but it took me that long to get everything unpacked and set up. And so I was like,
Situated.
well, I don't want Mom to have to make the drive all the way over here, because, she's an older woman. She has some traveling issues. So it's like, well, let me see what I can do. And I packed up some microphones, some of the equipment, and I drove it over there to where they were, because they were visiting my niece, and tried to get everything set up. Because I don't know how I got it to work, but I managed to rig everything together, and we recorded some stuff in a noisy hotel room.
Yeah.
Because it was time for the cleaning personnel to start cleaning up.
I did hear some vacuuming, and
Do you hear the water
I don't
going through
know.
the pipes?
I think so.
When they
I
were
heard
cleaning the
some.
bathtubs?
Yeah.
Noisy pipes.
Oh gosh.
So that begs the question: why didn't Martha spring for a better hotel to put my mother in?
I don't know, man.
She loves her
It's a
so
shame.
much. Huh.
Yeah. It was good. I'm only gonna make a couple comments on that audio.
Go ahead.
One, like I said, I think it was sweet. it was nice that, to hear
Yeah, and
different people on the
not to
show.
interrupt you again, but I really would like to get both of our parents on the show properly, with a properly planned show, and not something that was sprung on the day before and like having to scramble to come up with ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you have an extra microphone, I have an extra microphone. We can make this happen.
I know we can. Maybe we can do it this summer. That would be real interesting.
Very interesting.
So,
your dear mother, my mom, freehanding some treats.
I know. I thought that was so funny because your mom's like, it's not true. It's not true. And then, like, she used to have pop parties.
Well,
and she could roll with one hand.
Don't spoil anything. We'll play that after this. But how was your Mother's Day?
It was good.
You started to sound like them with the one or two.
Wait, no.
Answers.
I was about to start it. It started off with a plan of getting up and going to church. That didn't happen. I overslept and then I woke up with a headache. I was like, oh, great way to start off Mother's Day. And then I knew that when I say we, my mom and my sisters and Julie, which is one of our cousins.
I thought you were talking about the royal we.
We were planning on getting together just for like a small dinner or something. Unfortunately, our lack of communication skills and what have you, that was kind of just left on me to do. And I was like, well, I got to do something, I wanted to have my mom over, and it just, the way that things started off and throughout the day, they just kind of progressed to like not happening. And by the end of
let me just say, we're a family of planners. We're so good at this. Littlefoot.
She's sleepy.
I just saw a Littlefoot sighting. Who was that?
That was Priscilla.
Anyway,
anyway, nothing really turned out the way that I thought it was going to. But
you mean good?
Well, I thought we were all going to be able to come together and have a nice little dinner.
Oh, because you should know better than that.
I know. Then it turned into, well, hey, I'm not going to go because I got to go do this. That was from one person. The other person was, hey, I'm going to go by, but I got to go by early because we're going to go out to dinner by ourselves. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And then my mom was like, well, y'all just let me know. What do I need to do? What do I need to bring? And
just show up.
Yeah. And so at the very end, of course, Luis grilled and everything turned out nice. All of them ended up coming over. Loopy came back. My mom was here. I thought it was nice. It was kind of simple, but again, we were all together. So my kids had got me like this little memory book. It's kind of sweet.
A photo album sort of thing?
Yeah, they took some of the pictures. I don't know. On my Facebook page, I have a little drawing of my family. I actually drew it. I'm an artist.
You drew it?
Yes. Do I need to go and get it to show you?
Yes,
or
please.
We'll just take... Okay,
please, go get it to show me.
Okay.
I need to see this right now.
Yeah, so we're like so not prepared. But I'm going to open it up here, just let you see. If you can see that. Can you see that?
Oh my goodness, cuz you're so talented.
Yeah. So
is
that's
this a book that they had like printed up, or is this like a photo album sort of thing that they printed the pictures and cut them out and put them in?
No. They well, this picture is actually framed in my living room.
Nice.
So I drew that one night at a family meeting.
Hold that back up to the camera. Let me just describe this. So I see it says Torres family, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. The first one is obviously your husband, Luis, because he has facial hair. And let me just say, I mean, beyond the facial hair, it is a striking likeness of him. So the next one is you, because you're wearing stripes to thin you out. Vertical.
You know me so well.
The next one is Isabel, because it looks just like her. The fourth one is Carrot Top, because he has thick, bushy, curly hair.
That's a she.
That's Bila. That's
Yes.
Littlefoot. That's a Littlefoot sighting with quite a fro. And the last one is some kid you picked up on the side of the road
With glasses.
with glasses.
It's Mijo.
He has the eyes of a 40-year-old. Because I didn't know you were such an artist.
I know I have a lot of talent that's still within that I'm.
It's untapped talent. You
Here you
need to
go.
tap into that talent and let it out.
I did, and that's. I'm working on it.
No, next time tap a little bit harder. No, that's nice though that they got you that.
Yeah, they actually found like these pictures on their phones and through Facebook, and they had them printed up, and they made this little book. So that was really, 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 really sweet. I was like, oh my gosh, I was crying. But so it was good. I think Mother's Day was good.
That's good. I
Yeah.
actually didn't get to spend Mother's Day with my mom. I drove to visit them on the Saturday before Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get my mom anything as sweet and thoughtful as that. I bought lunch for everybody, and we went to an Italian restaurant. It was pretty good, but I've noticed that since I've changed my diet,
Mm-hmm.
my palate has changed. I think I've talked to you about this before. Like I can taste the differences in food now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a place that I love to go to. And the food, like I said, was pretty good, but I could taste like a little bit of like this is less than good quality stuff.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit
like
fake.
maybe in the freezer
Like,
type.
yeah, like this is very processed. There's a lot of sugar in this sauce when there really shouldn't be. Like it wasn't like a super sweet sauce, but I could taste because, you know, on this low carb keto diet that I've been on, I can't have sugar really. I mean, I've cheated here and there, obviously, because I'm still fat. Not that this thing works in 5 months, but anyway. So I can taste these things now that I never really paid attention to. And like I said, it was still a pretty decent meal. And I had a good time, you know, laughing, talking with the whole family. Not the whole family, but the family that was there.
Yeah.
You ready to play the audio that I recorded last week?
Sure.
All right. So what I'm about to play is just the podcast that I recorded. I'll do some explaining during the podcast, but it's been recorded in a hotel room. As we mentioned, there are noisy pipes. You might hear that noise every now and then. You might hear some vacuuming in the background. And just all around, it's not a great setting to record a podcast. But I did like having my mom on the podcast. It was a lot of fun to have that. And I give Marva a hard time because that's our relationship. I like to give her a hard time. She doesn't deserve a good time. So I'm there to make sure that everything stays right in the world. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
This mythical creature, La Marta, I caught one, had to let it go because it's bad luck to keep one. You can't keep it as a pet. It's a wild, mythical creature. And if you do, bad luck will just follow you and your family.
Oh my
But the problem is years ago, actually my brother caught it years ago. He fed it once and it never went away.
So wrong.
That is wrong. That's why I'm leaving it in the show. All right. So why don't you roll that beautiful bean footage?
Isn't that from Bush's?
Yeah, Bush's baked beans. The only person he told his recipe to was his dog, and his dog's not telling anybody. Roll that beautiful bean footage. And
Do you want me to roll it?
yeah. Don't you have it? I told you to play it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, we didn't prepare for that.
Hey, this is not the usual gang of number 2 podcasts. This is some extended family and some less than extended family. Just reminding you that if you go to campfirepod.com/merch, you can pick up one of these snazzy shirts. Look at it. We're all the number 2 podcast family. So go to campfirepod.com/merch. It's a good way to help support the show. And if you buy anything else from Amazon, because it will take you to Amazon, we might make a small commission at no extra charge to you.
It's okay.
No, it's not.
It'll be all right.
No, because I have to edit this later and try and get that out, and it's not going to be easy because I'm not an audio guy.
Well, this is testing your skills.
Or more your patience.
Yeah, testing my patience for sure. The person who's banned from the show forced her way on the show by using my mom to get on the show because it's Mother's Day weekend. My mom is coming down to visit my niece who is at a graduation right now. And I came. I know, and I came here to visit so we could all be together. So we're currently in Marva's hotel room, and they're cleaning the floor above us, and the pipes here are just terrible. The pipes here are terrible. So people ask, why am I so mean to Marva? Why do I hate her so much?
I'm the favorite ex-sister-in-law.
This is why I hate her so much. Favorite nothing. So, Mom, you were saying that you used to work as a maid in a hotel. What was it like when you did that? And how old were you?
No, I was like 18 years old.
So that was about, what, 30, 40 years ago?
More like 50 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And what was it like when you were working there?
I worked at, I don't want to say where I worked, but it was just nasty. Dirty. The people were dirty.
Thanks, Mom. It's a good story. Nothing weird ever happened while you were working there?
Yeah, but it's nasty. I'd rather not say.
Well, I mean, if you want to say, and then if it's too bad, I'll cut it out later.
He edits out all the bad parts.
A man asked me for a...
Oh, goodness.
For what?
For a BJ.
Oh, all right. Unexpected.
I told you it was bad.
Nasty.
What'd you do?
I went and told one of the other ladies that I work with, and she went around there and cussed the man out.
Did he leave?
He
Did he
just
get in?
walked away. I said, "You're going to lose your job." She said, "I don't care," but they didn't fire her.
Well, because back then they didn't have the sexual harassment rights and all that.
Can you talk into that microphone, please?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Eric. Gosh.
Hey, let's do a podcast. I'll just be over here and do it.
Well, yes, sir.
All right, Marva.
Lourdes, I'm so sorry. I feel your pain now.
Yeah. So Marva just scheduled this whole thing.
I did not. I said, hey, we'll be there if you want to do
didn't
one.
include Lourdes, who couldn't be here now because the timing just doesn't work out.
I texted y'all. Both of y'all. Sorry.
So anyway, Marva, what kind of did you ever work as a maid? Did you ever have to clean up after anybody?
No.
Oh man, when I was setting this up, Marva took a big dump.
I did not.
Poor maid had to clean up the bathroom.
I did not. I took mine downstairs. I went in the lobby to use the restroom.
And it stunk so bad.
No, that was you, Eric.
And I felt so bad. I was trying to think of, my Spanish is terrible. I wanted to say, and Mom, tell me if this is correct. I wanted to say, perdóname, mi amiga Marta usar el baño está y huele muy malo.
And that's pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good, but it's not true.
Porque ella cargar mucho.
It's not true.
Not cargar, that's charge. Cagar mucho.
Either way, it's still not true.
Ella tiene mucho caca en el estómago.
No, I'm regular. Now that I'm on my little new diet thingy, my lifestyle, I'm regular. 3 times a day. Oh, now you're going to get snoring in there.
Yeah, and my nephews are asleep in the background. So this is just like just an all-around great setting for a professional podcast.
You're welcome, Eric.
Yeah. God, I hate you so much.
I'm testing your skills.
Yeah. So, Mom, one of the things I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
Now, you've listened to every episode of the show.
Yes.
And you know that you have a reputation as being like a world-class weed smoker.
Yes, I know. And I've been trying to get hold of Lourdes.
What would you like to tell her if you got hold of her?
How wrong she is.
So you've never smoked weed?
I didn't say that.
So you have smoked weed?
Just a couple of times.
Now, during those couple of times, were you ever able to roll the joint with one hand?
Of course.
So about what time in your life did these couple times happen?
In my early 20s.
So this would have been during what decade?
During the 70s, the late 70s.
So the kind of like the days of hippies and that free love
Yeah.
era. So when you were doing this, how did this get so out of hand that it became a reputation that you had?
Your brother started that
What did how did that happen?
by telling everybody that I was a freehand roller with one hand and all this
How did he
stuff.
know? That's the question, though.
Because he claims that you used to have parties
We did have a couple of parties at my house.
and he saw this going on there,
Well, with some of the women from work.
but not you.
Yeah, it was at my house.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So his stories are true.
She is now confirming all stories.
So the
No.
reputation is correct.
No, because y'all were in the other room with the door closed.
And somebody kept their eye on the door the entire time, just in case somebody took a peek out, like my older brother.
Well, he had probably come in and got some and went back in the room to try it.
I wish he was greedy with it then.
You were too little. You were like 2 years old.
You're a baby.
And now outside, I think somebody's taking care of the lawn.
No, I
maintenance.
think they're vacuuming the upstairs.
Oh,
I
vacuuming.
think that's vacuuming the upstairs rooms. Sorry. Yeah, they're cleaning.
Mom, did you always want to be a mother?
Yes, I wanted 4 kids.
Why did you?
4?
I wanted 4.
Did you have names picked out?
No.
Did you? I know you told me that you only wanted boys. Did you want all 4 boys?
Yes.
Why was it? What was it about boys that you?
I just felt like it was easier than having daughters.
Now you've had 2 boys and you stopped there. Was that because it turned out to be not easier than having daughters?
No, it was financial.
Oh, now that you have 2 boys, all of your grandkids are, well, most of your grandkids are all girls, 3 girls.
Yep.
Now, how is that?
I love it.
You really know how to tell a story.
We're not professional podcast people. This is you and Lourdes thing.
I'll just tell you right now, the 1 or 2 answers, that's great for a podcast. 1 or 2 word answers. So fantastic. So, Mom, you hear us talk on the podcast a lot. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to refute or expand on or clarify?
Yes, some about their mother.
Okay.
Well, you know, she's very religious now.
Yes.
Well,
You're
she
talking
was
about
always religious, but not,
you're talking about my Aunt Mary.
yes, not
Lord,
as
this is
much as
dear
she
mother
now.
with the antlers and the hooves.
She's just different now.
Talking to the microphone, please.
She's different now since she's more religious. She's more understanding to other people, but apparently not. Her daughters don't understand her.
Now, is it her daughters don't understand her, or maybe they don't understand each other now?
Oh, yeah, it's more they don't understand each other.
And I blame Monkey.
I don't. I blame the daughters.
Why do
Wait,
you,
but the monkey doesn't listen to the podcast, does she?
No, not anymore. So why do you blame the daughters?
Because they should be more understanding. She's getting up in age, too.
But what is the limit?
What do you mean, what's the limit?
I mean, how you can only be understanding up to so much till someone else has to give a little bit back in that understanding zone. How much understanding, how much of themselves do they have to put out before it's just too
Well,
much?
but in all honesty, and I feel like you can only, it's your mother. You have to just take all your opinions to the side and just forgive and let them be them because it's your mother.
That's true, but if they're wrong, you can't let them continue to think that they're right because you're doing them a disservice.
But they all think that they're right.
I know, but I mean, everybody can't be right. So you and I, Mom, in the past, you and I have had some more adult conversations that was less mother-child and more of this was a misunderstanding, or this is how it felt at this time that I felt like I was being treated a certain way. And we've actually sat down and talked about things and kind of cleared the air about some things that bothered me, and I think that bothered you. And it didn't feel so much as, like a mother talking down to her child, or a child being intimidated or subservient to their parent, but more of like, this is how I feel about the situation. And then you explained how you felt about the situation, and I understood more, but I still felt like we were able to clear the air just by having that conversation. We were both had a little bit right, a little bit wrong, but neither one of us walked away saying, or at least I don't think you walked away saying, he's wrong with the way he felt and I'm right. And I didn't walk away saying, well, she's obviously wrong and I'm right.
Yes, but not everybody can do that.
I think your mom can do that because she is more of has an open mind. Not
Are you saying Monkey's closed-minded?
No, I'm giving.
Are you saying my Aunt Mary's closed-minded?
I'm saying not all mothers are the same, and your mother is open-minded, and because my mother is not.
She's not open-minded?
No, she's not.
Well, then she's wrong.
She is.
And you should sit her down and say, Mom, listen, I think you're being very closed-minded about this, and until you're willing to at least entertain the possibility that you're not right all the time, we can't continue to do things this way.
She wouldn't accept that.
My mom wouldn't accept that.
Then cut her out of your life.
I can't because I take care. I'm her provider. I'm her caregiver.
Well, say, look, if you want care given to you, you have to at least give me an inch.
She would say, the hell with your inch and leave me alone.
All right, then I will leave you alone.
But then I still have to take care of her. Regardless whether she wants to talk to me or not, I would still have to take care of her, take her to the family parties, take her to the family functions and everything.
Well, I mean, how did she discipline you when you were a child? How did she keep you in order and keep you going on the straight and narrow?
Well, my situation is a totally different situation.
How's that?
My mom truly didn't raise me. My grandparents barely. I mean, I was living with my grandparents, and they sometimes raised me. I was a baby. I was the baby. They let me do whatever I wanted to do. I was never given. My mom never really showed me like a motherly attention. Yeah, I never seen that until I was 16 years old, and I met your mom. That's why I consider your mom my mom as well, because she was the first.
Just remember, she didn't want any daughters.
I know, but she kind of got me anyway. So I'm here. It's been since 16 years old.
And now you're
42.
So what, 26 years?
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's why. But I mean, my mom
But up
didn't.
until the age you were 16, though, I mean, somebody had to have tried to keep you from. No?
I never had.
So were you wild and crazy as a kid?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah. I did whatever I wanted to do. Honestly, honest to God, I would. If I didn't go to school, I didn't go to school.
So if you had that kind of freedom, and then you met Mom, who was very much a disciplinarian, why were you willing to give up so much of that freedom?
Because I didn't realize I needed it, and then whenever I seen it, I was like, I just didn't know what it was. I honestly didn't know what it was. Even whenever your brother, he would try to disciplinary me, and I would consider him. I would tell him, you're not my dad, and we wouldn't get into arguments. And then your mom would teach me and talk to me, but it wasn't like she was parenting me and telling me go to your room or anything, like being really hard on me. She was just talk to me, and she was open-minded, and she just kind of talked to me and tell me right from wrong, and well, you should do this and you shouldn't do that, and this is just my opinion. And she never once said you have to do this or else. She never once said that. She would say, if you did this, here's some food. She would cook lasagna or cook some hot dogs and chili dogs.
I remember how fat you used to be.
I know.
That's what we were telling Rhiannon when we were coming up about Friday nights when we'd go to their house. Gosh. And y'all would go get 40 tacos.
Just one time. Martha ate 12 of them.
No. That's how your mom was.
So why can't you take that sort of conversation to your mother and lay it out in that way?
Because she's 82 years old, and she has a closed-minded mentality, and she doesn't care to learn.
But apply some of those, if you can't apply some of those disciplinary principles to that conversation and say, look, if you want to eat,
Yeah.
you're going to have to at least try and see it my way.
And she won't.
Then she,
And she just won't do it.
then she won't eat.
And then she'll call my cousin, Martha's not feeding me, and they'll call me and fuss at me, and they'll bring her food, and that's how it
Yeah, I
is.
need to get all on the same page and stop feeding your mom.
Well, so let my mom starve.
Not completely.
Oh,
Until she's
okay.
willing to give in. When she taps out, then you can give her a popsicle or something. I'm kidding.
So yeah, that's the story of my mom.
So, Mom, during any of these podcasts, when I say something about our relationship, is there anything that sticks out to you that maybe I'm not conveying correctly?
Not offhand, I can think of anything.
So the last episode, not the last episode, the last one that aired, episode 41, when I was telling Lourdes that I grew up with somebody telling me I shouldn't feel that way. I don't have to feel that way. Did that bring back any memories?
At the time,
I don't remember that. I've seen the video. I watch all of them.
Maybe it's the one that hasn't aired yet.
I think that hasn't aired yet.
No, I'm pretty sure it did.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, when I was talking about owning your feelings, like when you feel a certain way. When she was talking about how her husband's mom was telling her son not to cry because men don't
Oh
cry.
yeah. Okay.
And I said it's really important to be able to be in touch with your feelings and to own them, because growing up, when I would get upset about something or I was whatever disagreed with the way Mom thought I should be feeling about it, Mom, you would tell me I shouldn't feel that way or I don't have to feel that way. So I would confuse my feelings and just try and see it your way, regardless of how I felt. But then I realized, actually, through the help of the Howard Stern show, his therapy became my therapy, because when his therapist told him he should own his feelings, he talked about it on air, and I was like, own your feelings. The concept was, it seemed common sense, like, yeah, if you feel the way, that's the way you feel. But I never thought about it. Like, so many times when I would get mad about something, I'd be like, well, that's nothing to be mad over, but I was mad or I was hurt or whatever I felt. And I would just try and be like the person, like that level person who I always was, until I heard that concept of owning your feelings. And I thought, wow, how freeing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like, yeah, okay, something makes me mad. I'm mad because this happened. I didn't want this to happen this way. And I may not be as expressive with it all the time with whoever or whatever the situation is, but at least I can identify that I'm upset about something, and that will help me deal with it better than trying to deny that feeling. So would you say, Mom, that you were in touch with your feelings growing up, or what was Grandma and Grandpa sort of the same way of telling you?
no, they were even harder. It had to be their way or no way.
So did you ever?
But they meant well.
Well, yeah, they mean well. I mean, a lot of people mean well, but that doesn't mean that just because they mean well doesn't mean that
It's
they're
right.
doing well. So since then, do you think you've been able to be more in touch with your feelings and be able to communicate them better?
I think so.
I know you've calmed down a lot in your older age.
Yeah, I know I have.
Because the grandkids got away with a lot more than we were able to get away with.
Yes, but y'all didn't understand. I worked so much and I was tired and sick. And I was just tired.
I understand that now, but I mean, back then, you never really explained to, like, we knew you worked all the time, but to a little kid, it's harder to understand why you're doing that, because we didn't really have a concept of money and supporting a family. We just knew that you were gone a lot, and the time that you were there was pretty precious. And I mean, as an adult, obviously, I understand now you were tired and you had to put food on the table. But did you just expect us? Did you think that we understood and were just kind of?
Well, I expected your brother to understand better than he did since he was older, but you were small.
I thought she was going to say you were smarter.
Time has proven that is not true. So why not try and explain it to us? I mean, try and put it to
At the time or now?
Yeah, at the time.
Probably because she was tired. I mean, she was exhausted.
I remember I was cooking and left the food on the stove, and you woke up because the house was full of smoke because I fell asleep.
I remember that time. I woke up and I thought my eyes were foggy. Like, you know when you wake up sometimes and you just can't see well and you're like rubbing your eyes? I kept rubbing my eyes and I thought, wow, they won't clear up. And you were sleeping on the couch. You'd fallen asleep on the couch. And you were covered up in a blanket head to toe, which is probably why you couldn't smell the smoke now that I think about it. And I tried to uncover one because I didn't know which side was your head. So I tried to uncover one side and I couldn't see anything because I couldn't get the blanket completely off. So I went and tried the other side and I couldn't pull it off. So I just took a guess and I sat down because I was going to watch Saturday morning cartoons. And I guessed wrong and I sat down on your head. And you woke up and then you realized that the house was full of smoke and I think you were cooking sausage.
Yeah.
You were boiling sausage. Were you boiling sausage?
Yeah, boiling them.
So it must have been really bad for something that was boiling to be filling up the house with smoke.
You ran out of water.
How come I never got my hero's parade for that? I saved everyone's life.
You did. We had to go to Grandma's house because I had to leave the doors and windows open so the smoke would come out.
That was a tiny little house. You know, that was the one on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a 2-bedroom house, but to think about it now, I don't see how an adult and 2 children could even fit in there.
I mean,
because Susan moved out and I moved in.
Susan is a friend of yours for many years, your best friend, right?
Yeah, for about almost 40 years.
So she had lived there before us, and she had her son, right?
Uh-huh.
Was she married at the time?
No, she was
so
divorced.
She was a single mother with one child, and she moved from there, and then we moved in. And can you talk about how small it was?
It was like living in a matchbox.
It was almost like an apartment-sized house, right?
It was a tiny house.
how many square footage would you say that was?
Oh,
2 feet, 2 square feet.
I have no idea. It was small.
Well, okay, but you know what though? Nowadays people are moving to tiny houses.
Yeah,
like
but we weren't living there with that concept in mind.
I know, but
we started off, I remember my brother and I started off in bunk beds, and he had the top bunk. I've never been in a top bunk, and I was thin enough to be top bunk back then. Now I'm afraid to get up there because the top bunk might become the bottom bunk real fast if I'm up there. So he had top bunk. I was on the bottom bunk. We had a closet with no door on it. And at night, I used to see like glowing eyes coming from the closet, and it would scare me.
Ooh.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, it's like, you know when you stare at a light and then you look away and you can kind of still see the light?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might have been what it was. I probably was looking up at the light bulb before the light went out. Anyway, either that or they're real monsters in my closet. So, jury's out on that. But I remember my brother's arm it would just fall off the side of the bed. Sometimes it'd be hanging. And in my mind, I would see that and think it was a dead person's arm. And I used to start crying. I would ask him to put his arm back, and he either didn't want to or he couldn't hear me because he was asleep.
He did it on purpose, I think.
So I'd be crying until Mom came in and made him put his arm back. But then we got rid of those bunk beds and got 2 separate twin beds. And they filled up the entire room. There was no room to walk in there. Why would you get rid of twin beds that gave us a little bit of room to play in there?
Because you were crying all the time.
Well, I mean, it put me closer to the monster closet. What was the thinking behind that, Mom?
I don't know. I just thought y'all would be better off in twin beds instead of bunk beds.
No. As it turns out, no.
Well, but at least you had a bed.
Wait, are you saying you grew up without a bed?
No, I'm not.
I didn't have a bed.
Some kids didn't have a bed.
Like Mom, she just said.
I didn't have a bed.
How old were you when you didn't have a bed?
I was your mother at the time.
Oh.
Oh.
You had a bed?
I ended up going to work a second job and saved the money from that to buy my bed.
Hey, so you got a bed though. I don't remember you.
Yeah,
not
but I
having a
had
bed.
to work. months to save the money.
Well, nobody's going to give you a bed.
Casey, both of y'all had your own individual bed, and here your
On the
mom didn't even have a
couch.
bed.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember her not having a bed.
I slept on the couch until I got the bed.
And is that the same bed that you had? I mean, the same frame and everything that you still have now?
Yes,
Okay, I thought so. So that was
30 years ago.
not more than 30 years ago,
Hmm.
because I was less than 10. So you bought quality stuff, and
So the bed frame that you have now is the one that you bought a long time ago?
Yeah,
Wow.
the same dresser and everything, right?
everything.
That's definitely quality
Definitely,
material
yeah.
there.
It's heavy. I remember another time at the last house we lived at, you decided to rearrange your bedroom, which meant that I had to move a lot of furniture.
That was on at the little house.
No. When I had to move the furniture for you. This was at the house on the corner. Don't say the street name.
I won't.
But the last house we lived at, you decided to rearrange your bedroom. My nephew's in the bathroom right now. So, where was I? Oh, yes.
The house in the corner.
House on the corner. Mom decided to rearrange her bedroom. She had this great idea for how it was going to work. I think, did you read a book about feng shui or something? Or feng shui, whatever. How do you
Feng
pronounce
shui.
it? Feng shui?
No, somebody had told me about it.
So were you rearranging it to like get the energy flow better in the bedroom?
I thought that was a new thing. I didn't know that was something that way back in the day.
Way
No, this was
back.
like early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
No, it was late. It was still in the 1990s.
Maybe late 90s. Okay. I'm not quite sure the time, but I was a young, strong man at the time. So I moved Mom's bed, her
Dresser,
dresser,
nightstand.
nightstand, her
Computer.
desk. Yeah, the computer. I disconnected everything, moved it around. She didn't like it. She like tried over here. I moved everything
And
again.
then it went back to the way it originally was.
Hey, can I tell a story?
Okay, tell your story. I'm sorry.
See why I hate her?
I'm listening.
So
Go ahead.
I moved the bed, the dresser, the nightstand, computer, and the desk about 3 times. And each time my mom didn't like it. So yes, Marva, it went back to exactly the way it was. And I
it
think that
looked
was
good.
and I think that was the first time I hurt my back. So what was it really like just a flow, like not necessarily an energy flow, but like just where you had your room that way since we'd moved in there, like
That's
10 or
probably
15.
why I wanted to change it. I was tired of it being that way.
So,
But that's the way it looked best, so it went back.
Because the energy flowed perfectly through there.
I used to hate coming home and we had 2 ways to get like that house. We had a front door, and there were 2 doors after that. You could go right and cut through the living room, dining room, and then go into the hallway down to the end of the hallway where my bedroom was. Or you could take the shortcut, which was just go straight, and there was a door that cut through my mom's room into another door that went to the hallway. And that became the path. Like that was just like the path of least resistance, and that's the way we kind of always came home. And a couple times, I woke you up coming that way, and I felt bad about it. But going the other way, I always felt like you thought I was trying to hide something because you would still wake up when I would go down the hallway.
I could hear when y'all came in.
I tried to be quiet. I tried to sneak out and sneak back in, but you were always on the ball. I'm sorry. We have a circus still in here also.
Well, probably because whenever you walked in that house, like it always made noise every time you would walk. Things would creak in the house.
It was an old house. It was on a pier and beam foundation. So at night I would hear the house settle, and it would creep me out sometimes because you think it's somebody walking around, but it wasn't.
And also, I remember that whenever you would walk to the front door, and if you went towards the living room, sometimes it was hard to open that door.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's why y'all
It's
kept
been a
it
long
shut.
time. Yeah.
I remember the time I came home from work and nobody was there, and I heard noise in the living room, and I thought somebody's in the house. So I went around through my bedroom, and it was a bird. That thing flew at me, and I screamed. It had come in the
Coming from the
fireplace.
fireplace.
I forgot we had a nest of birds living in that fireplace. My goodness.
And I went to the bathroom, and I got a bath towel, and I kept trying, and it would fly right at me, but it was all out of breath. I guess it had been
Flying
around trying to
on
find a way out. And I caught it in the towel, and I thought, what am I going to do with it? So I shook it around so it would get dizzy. And I went outside, and I let it out, and it fell on the ground, and it was
And when,
all...
when it sat up, there were little birds flying around its head.
And then I felt bad because I thought, a cat's going to get it and kill it. I went back out there, and it was gone.
Because a cat got it.
Poor little bird.
But he scared the life out of me when he flew at me.
Yeah, because I
And
remember.
then he had pooped on one of the chairs.
I remember that you used to hear the noise in the fireplace.
Yeah.
Am I remembering something wrong? Or was there a bat in the house one time also?
I want to say there was.
Hanging from the curtains, right?
I think so.
And there was a family friend who had to get it out, right?
Yeah. I think-
Horacio?
Yeah. It was Horacio.
How the heck did we get a bat in the house?
I have no idea.
Probably the same way the bird came in through the fireplace.
Oh my, were we living in a haunted house?
I don't think so.
We had bats and birds and creaky floors and like weird sounds. No,
Yeah.
that wasn't a haunted house.
You remember when a car hit the house?
It was a truck.
I
Oh my
wasn't-
goodness, how did I forget about that? In the front little room that we had, I'll tell this story.
Was that before my time? I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
I
I was
think
in
it
high
was.
school. No. I was already in high school, so you had to have already been in the
Oh, maybe
an unwanted
so.
part of the family by then. So we had this small little room, like when you first walk in, and we had a pool table that was almost the size of the room.
It was the size of the room.
Forget about using a long stick, a regular size stick to hit a ball, because you had to use one about half the size. But anyway, it was still fun. And again, another family friend was visiting us, Lou,
And I was on the phone with Susan.
and we were going to play. I had asked if she wanted to play a game of pool, and she said yes. But first, it was shortly after Christmas, I think, because I had a dinosaur bone toy puzzle sort of thing, and I went to put it back in my room. And thank God I did that, because while I was in my bedroom putting it up on the shelf, the whole house just moved. Boom. Not quite like an earthquake, but just like somebody hit the side of the house, like a giant just tipped the house. So I was like, what was that? And we went, and my mom was getting up, and she's like, I don't know, what was it? And we opened the door, and part of the wall was pushed in at the front of the house.
The water was spurting out of the faucet outside.
Yeah, the pipe had broken, and there was a truck. A drunk driver had somehow jumped the curb and must have hit the gas, thinking he was hitting the brake, and just accelerated right into our house and pushed the front end just right into that small little room. It didn't damage the pool table, but I remember thinking it was right in the corner of the house, and it pushed in the wood and the beams that were framing the house, and it was right in the corner where I would normally sit when I waited for my turn to play. And I was like, oh my, I could have been right there when that truck hit. If I hadn't had this giant dinosaur bone toy that Mom gave me for Christmas. Hey, Mom, you saved my life.
Oh, of
Hey, was
course.
there a door there at one point?
Yeah, on the side.
Okay. Because I remember it just being a window. Y'all ended up making it into a window.
We closed it. No, the window was there. We closed the door, and
Well, the
I
truck
remember
stayed
that.
there for, it felt like a few weeks.
he didn't have insurance.
Yeah, but it stayed right there at the front of the house. There was a
They
truck in
couldn't-
our house.
But the thing is, remember, Lou was there, and her car was in the driveway, and he missed her car. He just hit the house.
So then the truck finally gets removed, and it took a long time for the house to be repaired too, right?
Yes.
See, I don't remember all that. All I remember is just it being white in the window. So I feel like that was before.
I don't even remember who repaired it.
I don't remember either, but it took a while, and everything went back to normal after that. We thought we were going to get some insurance money, but it went to the owner of the house. We were renting.
I was on the phone with Susan, and she heard the noise, and she came all the way to the house to see.
Oh, did she? I don't remember that. I remember. Oh wait, you know what? It wasn't. It might have been like early on in high school for me because I remember I had some friends who lived 2 blocks down the street, but they weren't my friends yet because I met them in 9th or 10th grade. But they remembered that happening because we talked about it years later. They were like, "Were you living there when that truck hit the house?" Like, "Yes, that was my house." Or, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. We were there that night."
So you had to be like in middle school or something.
Yeah, I guess so, because I wouldn't have been in high school getting a dinosaur skeleton toy. Good story.
Those were the days.
Well, Mom, is there anything? All right, so this is not Thanksgiving. This is Mother's Day weekend. Is there any? Is there anything special you want to share with other mothers out there for Mother's Day weekend?
I just want to wish them all a happy Mother's Day. Those who are mothers and those who are expectant mothers. And to say a prayer for those who have lost their mothers.
Do you remember what my Uncle Bones used to say on Mother's Day?
No.
You don't remember his greeting to everybody? He'd say, "Happy day, Mother."
I don't remember that.
That was his joke every Mother's Day. Well, all right, so all the mothers, happy Mother's Day, but I also want to wish my Uncle Mario happy Mother's Day.
Oh, that's right. That was an ongoing joke for you guys.
It still is.
Yeah.
How long ago did that start?
I don't remember even how that started, but my Uncle Mario, our greeting to each other is always, "Hey, happy Mother's Day." And my brother and he have not a greeting, but a way of saying goodbye. They always tell each other, "Te bañas?" Or my brother says that mostly, which means go take a bath, right?
Yeah. And Mario just gets a kick out of it.
So I tell my Uncle Mario happy Mother's Day, and my brother tells me to take a bath.
It's a little messed up.
And somehow our family still works.
Gloria used to buy for Eric's birthday Mother's Day cards, and Mario would sign them.
Yeah, that was on the last one of your other videos.
Yeah, when I was doing the Fat Man Diaries.
Yes. And he even showed it. The little Happy Mother's Day. Gloria wrote it on
All right, I have another question for you, Mom, before we end this.
Okay.
So you raised 2 boys. What was the worst trouble, or what was the worst part of raising 2 boys for you? Either what was the worst trouble we ever got in that you just were kind of fed up with us, or...
Because your big brother was always picking on you and bickering with you and making you cry and stuff like that, and it just got old hat.
I will say this. I was very much a crybaby when I was a kid.
He used to, when you were learning to walk, he'd knock you down and think I wouldn't find out, and I watched from the side of the door, and I caught him, and I told him that's what's wrong. And to this day, he still says everything was fine till he came along.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it was for him. Did you ever think that maybe he just needed a little extra attention?
He hogged Grandma. What more did he want?
Well, he wanted his mother's attention too.
He had my attention.
And Monkey. Did he have Monkey? Wasn't he
Well,
always
Monkey
with
had her own
monkeys?
kids too. Monkey was doing. Much older is Tello than my favorite cousin Phoebe?
3 years.
Okay, so he was 3 years old, and his Aunt Mary got taken away from him by my favorite cousin Phoebe. And then 3 years after that, you had me, and your attention got split between the two of us. And I was Grandma's favorite, so he definitely lost her. So yeah, you could see how his world got turned upside down. Brother, I don't blame you for that anymore. Mom still has resentment, obviously. She brings it up every opportunity she can. Why am I telling? He doesn't even listen to this either. But I still love you, brother.
Stacy does. Stacy listened to it too.
Stacy is your stepmama?
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say to her for Mother's Day?
I want to say Happy Mother's Day.
Anything for your mother as well?
Happy Mother's Day also.
Anything for Momo?
Happy Mother's Day, Momo.
Well, thank you.
And anything for all the other mothers out there?
Happy Mother's to everybody.
All right, well, you heard it. Happy Mother's Day. This will be way after Mother's Day, but still, I hope you had a great Mother's Day. And Well, hang on. Before I end this, so you talked about a problem you had with Chala. What about a problem you ever had with me growing up?
Not her
I
favorite
really
meal. She
I
didn't have
really
any
didn't
problems with
have
him.
any problem with you. Your brother was the one that took out all the gray hairs.
He was a rebel, and so because of that, I think he might have made it easier for me.
Yes, I remember when I caught him smoking in the yard. You know why he got scared?
Why's that?
Because I grabbed him by the arm and said, "We're going to cross the street so you can show Grandpa your trick of smoking." "No, I didn't mean it." And he threw it down.
We grew up. I guess we were kind of lucky in this way. Didn't realize it at the time, but we grew up not only a close knit family, but spatially close family too. Because right down the street was my Aunt Gloria, and across the street from her were my grandparents, and several blocks down the road was my Aunt Marcella, and right behind her was my Aunt Mary. So pretty much the whole family lived within a mile radius, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
So couldn't get away with much. Smoking is a bad habit, by the way. I'm glad my brother quit.
And even still, you had an uncle that didn't live too far.
Yeah, Bones lived with
Well,
Mom and Daddy.
no, and Manuel,
I know, but back then that he might as well lived in another city because that seemed the other side of town seemed like so far away. Now I see how close it was, but at the time it was like
miles away.
yeah, it was like that's a special occasion if we're going to go see Uncle Manuel. So you never had any problems with me.
None that I can recall.
I guess I was really good at hiding things.
I guess.
Were you a
because-
bad child?
I wasn't a bad child, but I
mischievous?
just didn't. I guess I just didn't know how to show my feelings.
Oh my goodness! Back with the feelings. Now you know to own them.
I do now, so I'm much more of a problem
Thank you,
child.
Howard Stern.
Yeah, thank you, Howard Stern, for all the years of entertainment. Hey,
For
you
the therapy.
you listen to it too.
Sometimes.
I never did listen to it.
Nobody asked you, Marva.
But you
Why
know
are
what,
you
though?
even here?
I'm here because I delivered your mother here.
Delivered.
Yes.
Did you give birth to her?
No.
Mom, did you wish her happy Mother's Day? She delivered you.
I delivered the package.
So, Mom, what was your experience on this podcast? It was a little slow starting, but we got going. We got
Oh,
some
I
stories
enjoyed
going.
it.
All right. Well, I hate to tell you this, but I'm going to cut about half of it out.
I understand.
Maybe just a third of it out.
You're welcome.
I hope I didn't upset you, Mom, with anything I've said or anything I said during this podcast. But I do feel like honesty is a big key, and definitely being able to talk, being able to go outside of the child. I mean, maintaining the respect, but being able to sometimes step outside of the parent-child restraints of a conversation and being able to be honest with your feelings and with each other. And I think that we've been able to do that, and I'm really happy that we have been able to.
Me too.
Not that we ever had a bad relationship, but there were times when we just couldn't see eye to eye, and it made for not so great times.
Well, you would think one way, and I thought another.
And
That's just normal.
I finally got you to see things my way, and now life is so much better because of it. But seriously, Mom, thank you for everything that you've done, and I hope you have a happy Mother's Day and many more to come. And I do love you for everything that you have done for me.
Well, I love you too.
I love you more, and we'll end it there. Thanks for listening. No, Mom, I'm just kidding. I mean, I do love you more, but
And I love you as well.
shut
for
up,
being
Martha.
my-
Nobody's even
Stop
talking
it.
to you.
Stop it,
Why do you have to ruin the
Eric.
moment?
I'm just telling your mom thank you for being my mom.
She doesn't care.
You don't care. She does.
Mom, be honest with her right now. Let's
What?
end this facade. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
There's going to be a song playing over this, so you have to keep listening. Pick a hand, Mom. I'm just kidding.